Okay, it's time to jump back into some ranked games with the mage on Scholar Bag and see what we can do today. Now, we do start off with a whetstone, which is kind of awesome, but we're going to grab a broom, that's for sure. Let's grab it, and let's not craft up a shepherd's crook. Now, we do have an option to make right now. Should we just take our stone, our pocket sand, and roll? That's exactly what we're going to do. And I already did. Let's take our wooden sword and do a craft up a hero sword instead of shepherd's crook. And I really do want this wand with this banana. The banana is going to help us with our stamina. Magic for dummies is nice and all, but I'm going to sell it. I'm going to move this over slightly. Does mean I can't grab our wand this round. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sell our stone, as mad as that is, so we can get a little bit more defenses with our garlic. And yeah, I'm going to move on with this. This should be a pretty decent round one, and I didn't put in our pocket sand. What the hell am I doing? Honestly, probably didn't matter too much since we are going to begin an adventure with our broccoli. Because they're going to get their accuracy anyway. Now we do got to beat down our opponent before the rainbow badge does go off, which literally is just gone off. And they're going to get one of every buff. But can we still win out? Honestly, this vampirism, this empower could potentially give me the advantage, and unfortunately, it did exactly. But we got our hero sword. Let's grab our storage. Let's grab our wand. Let's grab some regen. Everything else, maybe don't really want. So I think this should be much better, but I said that last round and we just barely fell short. However, we are facing a ranger with just a wooden sword and a short bow, but they're going to get some crits. They do also have a little bit of spikes for a little bit more DPS, but can we stack up enough mana for a wand of equilibrium to start giving us some power? Honestly, not too bad. We didn't even get to our mana, but awesome. Now we did get mana mastery. We also got false life, and we also got heavy drinking. Some pretty darn good options. I mean, mana mastery is just literally the ultimate skill on the mage. I'm gonna take it. We kind of have to take it. It's just so freaking darn good. Now, I do want to grab this to see what's gonna be. Amulet of Energy is even better, to be honest. And we do need to find ourselves a freaking mana orb. If we get one mana orb, we're in a fantastic spot. To be honest, we also want to find ourselves more wands. More wands means more empower, since this is going to trigger pretty fast. It's going to go down to 1.9 seconds, giving us our mana a lot faster. Our opponent is going to inflict a lot of cold, thanks to Norse Please, along with Freeman's Guide Dice. So they are going to be slowing us down just a little bit. But our little one should be putting in overtime right now. Give us our power, increasing our damage quite significantly. But our opponent has more wands, which means more empower, especially with that shell totem. And especially this spike shield is going to be making us take a lot of damage, since they do have 5 spikes, unfortunately. So we do bleed in our life. Now we did get a spell score growth with a hammer, which is pretty darn smashing. Literally smashing. This regenerates stamina. We could take it. We also get another wand on sale, which I'm going to have to grab. Problem is, I did kind of want to go for a Falcon Blade with a magic staff, but when you get a hammer with a spell score growth, you kind of have to take it. And yeah, I'm going to venture with this. Now I'm going to have our hammer in with a broom, because these are both going to use stamina anyway. So we should be able to use our stamina to keep our hammer and our broom going, which will be pretty good. I said that immediately gets out stamina. But we should be in a pretty good spot going up against this Berserker. To be honest, we should have lots of damage. We're going to get our power as well. And amazing. I did want to keep our broom to try and grab ourselves a mana orb, just literally get a pair of gloves. We've got to take the eye lamp since it is on sale. Do we grab ourselves this fanny pack? I think I actually roll. If you want ice, ice could be kind of nice. We grab our books so we get faster mana orb or faster mana mastery. I think I roll again. And let's save our 1 gold and let's just move on for now. So the eye lamp is going to scale up our accuracy, so blind stacking from this is not going to matter too much. So we should be able to make sure our hammer hits. One big flaw of the hammer is its accuracy is pretty darn low. Although our opponent is smashing this really fast, unfortunately. So we do actually bleed in our life. Now I'm going to be greedy, going to take a piggy bank. I'm going to roll. We do finally get our mana orb. And I'm going to craft up a magic staff. I'm going to grab this bit of storage. Let's roll again. And I did kind of want to crack open our piggy bank, but I also kind of want to get rid of our hammer, as mad as that is. We definitely want another freaking wand of equilibrium. I'm going to sell our garlic to grab it for now as well. I'm going to keep our hammer for this round so we can crack open this piggy bank. And we'll see how we get on with this. With our mana orb, we should be able to generate a lot more mana also. And yeah, once we get our staff, we're going to get lots and lots of damage. Potentially. However, we are going to begin a shovel. Hunger Blade with a lot of heat. They're definitely going infinite heat stacking on that mage for sure. But we're actually almost getting our big mana buff bomb, which is kind of crazy. Although that strong health pot definitely gave our opponent the advantage. Unfortunately. But can we still bring it back? It's looking super close. We did get a big mana buff bomb. And that was one big hammer smash to take him out. Amazing. Now we did get an Encyclopedia of Darkness, which I'm thinking about grabbing. Along with the cat. Although I don't really want the cat that much. It's going to give us 20% crit chance. Let's take this for now. Actually, let's take the Box of Riches. I'm going to roll. And I'm going to roll again. Let's sell our hammer. Let's grab ourselves blueberries. Let's keep rolling. We do get a mana orb, which is amazing. And I did kind of want to keep our bunch of kinds, to be honest. Because there is a subclass that I'm thinking about going for. So I'm going to sell our banana. Sell our banana so we can take it. And I mean, this should be the fastest mana mastery of all time. We should be able to get more scaling damage on our staff. And yeah, I'm going to venture on with this. So we're keeping our kinds because I'm going to be offering up with that subclass. We're going for the Shiny Mantle today. And we're going to be looking for some big blue gemstones, potentially. Whatever gemstones we're going to get. It's going to be RNG. Now, Turbo Shelly Adventure, they're probably going to go for Ukulele. And they've dealt so much damage that, honestly, it's going to be kind of scary. Our defense is pretty low right now. But that staff is dealing some insane damage. That's 24 in power. That was kind of nuts. And Shiny Mantle is on sale. So this is what I was talking about. Now this will use our mana to give us invulnerability, which is kind of nice. Now we can also take Spirit Balls, which does give us damage reduction for the first however long for the fight. And it's also going to give us a crap ton of buffs, which is really fantastic with mana buff and bombing. But we do have a bunch of kinds. We do have a Box of Riches. I'm going to have to take this. We're also going to have to fill our inventory full of gemstones. So if we place it in here, it does actually count. We don't have to have it inside our Shiny Mantle, which is important to know. Any item on sale, we're going to have to grab. Being this too. And yeah, I'm going to roll again. And we could craft up Mana Thirst. I'd love to craft up Mana Thirst if we had one more Mana Orb, so we can go infinite mana stacking. I still might take it though. But I'm going to be offering up our Eye Lamp, a bunch of kinds, our Rogue Paw, and our Healing Herbs for now. I'm going to take this, but I'm also going to take this little blue gemstone because every bit of mana we're going to be stacking up is going to be some block. So the idea is to get infinite mana, get a Cupcake Staff, and just go crazy stacking mana. As much as possible. But can we keep up with this Berserker? They're going to have a good bit of damage, they're going to have some crits, they're going to have a lot of damage reduction. We do get invulnerability. And honestly, not looking so great for us. But again, we're being super greedy and we got ourselves another Mana Orb, which means... hell yeah, I'm going to be crapping out that Mana Thirst. A perfect Amethyst as well. So we already have 70% healing reduction. We're also going to get a ton of regen if we want it. Maybe we're going to offer up our Spell Scroll Regrow. We definitely want to grab ourselves another Mana Orb. And unfortunately, we're just going to offer up this for now. And we do have 33 golds worth of gemstones, which is really awesome. Let's take another blue gemstone. We want as much of these as possible. Let's grab a shell or a freaking stamina stack. And I'm going to keep our little green gemstones. We should have had it in our armor because that's going to be a lot of poison. But I did want to empower our regen so we can get some Vampirism on our Hunger Blade. But we'll see. That's a lot of damage. We do get invulnerability. Is it enough to win? Unfortunately not. Which is kind of crazy. Now speaking of kind of crazy, Time Melting. The reason why that's crazy is it's going to give us even longer invulnerability, which is actually smashing. Let's grab the storage. I'm going to grab the Fanfare. I'm going to roll again. And I'm going to have to sell this green gemstone. Unfortunately, we're going to have to sell it because I do want more storage. Once we get ourselves our Cupcake Staff, we're going to be in a fantastic spot, but we're going to have to move on with this. I'm not offering up any gemstones this round. Maybe we should offer up our little green gemstone since we have no use for regen anymore. Maybe that's a good idea, but we should be able to get our big mana buff bomb with our Mana Thirst a little bit easier. We do get our vulnerability, and we should have a lot of scaling damage with our Magic Staff, which should be awesome. And we're going to have invulnerability for such a long time. It's going to be kind of awesome. Now we could take a King's Crown. The King's Crown is going to make our gemstones even better. I don't think we take it just yet. I think we do actually want to offer up our Flawless Emeralds. Let's take this since it is on sale. I know it's not going to do anything for us, but it is definitely going to be worth it. And we could take you for a little bit more gemstones. So we're over that invulnerability. See, I'm going to venture on once again with this. So it should be awesome, especially going to begin a cold stacking builds. We can cleanse those debuffs with our Divine Pop for now. Although they're doing some big damage. We do need our Invulnerability. We just barely get it in time. Is it enough to win out though? Honestly, it's looking pretty scary. And just barely in time. Holy moly, we might actually want to speed up our Shiny Mantle. And you know what? We got the best gemstone ever. Smash it. And we do want to grab ourselves this Cupcake Staff. Now you do take 6 seconds to get online, and we're almost getting bursted down within that 6 seconds, which makes me really want to take this hat. I'm going to sell these little topazes so we can take this skull badge, and I do offer that up as well. And yeah, we're going to move on with this. So we should take a lot less damage. We are going to begin a cold stacking build, which could be problematic, since we don't really cleanse those debuffs all that much. If they slow us down too much, we're going to be in huge trouble. But we should get a big mana buff bomb. We should have lots and lots of damage. We should have tons and tons of block. And insane amounts of invulnerability. And awesome. And we got our Cupcake Staff, which is going to be amazing. We also got ourselves a spell called Purity. We're going to take you to offer you up. Let's take another one of these. Let's roll again. And I do want to take a stamina stack for now also. Also, we should have this over here so we have more damage reduction, which honestly, yeah, that's on me. And we're just one little tiny gemstone away from actually getting another 0.2 invulnerability. So we're going to take this gemstone. I am going to move on with this. Cupcake Staff should be pretty good. We should be able to get some lifesteal from this. And we should be able to use our mana to get more mana and infinitely stack it up. The problem is, once we do hit our big mana buff bomb, it's going to be a little bit harder to get our mana. It's going to be a little bit random. So we might actually want to get rid of our mana buffing, but honestly, it's going to be too good not to do. But hey, we're going to have a faster freaking Manitors, which is amazing. We do want to take this and offer that up also. And we're going to take this too. Elements of Alchemy I'm happy to get rid of. Now we'll take more storage. And we could also craft up a Null Blade if we want to. I don't really want the Null Blade, so I'm going to let it go. I do want to offer this up. Do want to get invulnerability for longer. Wouldn't mind crafting up this gemstone, and wouldn't mind crafting these up for even more heal reduction. But I'm going to roll again. Now I do actually want to grab this too, because that is going to be a lot of heal reduction. Honestly, we have so much heal reduction that maybe we don't really want that. Let's grab our little red ruby, and let's venture on with this. So we'll see how we get on with this. We are going to begin an Obsidian Dragon with a lightsaber. They're going to be trying to inflict a bunch of blind on us, which could be problematic. But we should be in a pretty good spot. If we get a big mana of bomb, we're going to start stacking. Actually, maybe regen. No, we got super lucky and start stacking mana once again. And it's not looking too bad. We definitely need our big mana buff bomb to get all these crazy buffs, to be honest. But not looking too bad so far. Shiny Mantle working out extremely awesomely for us. Almost got taken out for it, but not looking too bad. We did get ourselves a Badger, which we're going to take. You on sale is kind of hard not to take, but I do want to add another weapon into our situation. Again, crafted Null Blade. We could grab ourselves a Fanfare, which honestly, at this point, I really do want that Fanfare. So we're going to sell our little red rubies. Let's take it. Let's offer up this green gemstone as well. And we should be offering up other things other than gemstones, but I still think it's going to be worth it. But an extra Fanfare means more power, means more mana. Should be fantastic. We are going to begin Infinite Heat Stacking Cupcake. So we'll see if we can deal with this, because we got lots and lots more block. We should be super defensive in vulnerability for days as well. And yeah, actually looking pretty good. Hell yeah. So we do want to end with a 45 DPS, which is not too great. Definitely needs to be improved. As for heals, we do end up with 30 healing per second, which is actually not bad. Surprisingly not bad. As for max health, 40 max health from our Badger. And as for block, we do end up with 52 block per second. And more perfect sapphires, more sapphires means more block. So we're definitely going to be carrying this on. Although that's a big red ruby. Big red ruby if you want it. I'm just going to take our Fanfare. I'm going to roll again. And I didn't want to spend 60 gold on that red ruby. So we're actually going to sell this little red ruby because we're going to take the shields. We're going to take the shield because I'm going to offer that up. Double Fanfare is going to sit in here for now as well, and we're going to have to take out our little bit of healing for right now. Unless we take out our little box of riches, but I do kind of like having our riches in also. Let's craft this up, and let's go ahead and move on. So we're going to get more heals, which should be awesome, to be honest. Also, we could have had this in our helmets, so we actually reduce healing even more, which would be awesome, but I think we should be in a good spot. Now, we're almost stacking up freaking luck, which would have been really, really bad for us. Since our opponent is rocking a katana, they're going to be moving a lot of our buffs, but look how much block we do have. Honestly, looking really, really fantastic. Super, super defensive. Hell yeah. We got our own perfect red ruby, which is awesome as well. And we're going to get a second one also. Now, is it time we craft up our King's Crown? I think it is. The only thing is, it is going to use up our mana, so we could be in trouble. But I think it's going to be too good not to actually do. Which means I'm only going to be offering up these 2 little red rubies for now. And yeah, we're going to move on. Because if we don't stack up mana, we're going to be in a tough spot. So we'll see how we get on with this. Once we get to 10 mana, it does use up. Then we stack up heats. But we're eventually going to stack up our mana a little bit faster. So it's not going to be terribly bad. And we're going to get invulnerability for a lot longer. And we do need it beside our time melting as well. But infinite heat stacking, infinite mana stacking, pretty good combo. Those are the 2 buffs we do want to stack. It is the final rounds. Let's grab you. Let's take this, hoping for an Amulet of Energy. Amulet of Alchemy is not that great. Let's take our final gemstone, let's roll once. And we could take a final little chessboard. Now honestly, we should have taken an ice block earlier and crafted up this mirror, because that's going to give us 35% of buffs after 6 seconds. Up to 20 buffs as well. It would have been awesome to add in. Now speaking of awesome to add in, we're going to have to grab this Prismatic Orb. Which means we're going to sell our Amulet of Alchemy, which honestly didn't matter too much. We sell you, and we sell you too. And we're going to take you for pretty much 40 mana off the rip, which guarantees we're going to be stacking up mana. Well, we're going to get invulnerability, so we could still stack up heat. Which should guarantee that we're going to get our King's Crown, give us invulnerability at the very beginning. We're going to have our perfect sapphire in our King's Crown, so we get 50% more value from this. We also want this flawless sapphire in as well. And yeah, we're going to move on with this. We could also have more heal reduction in our helmet, but I don't think we actually want it. More healing as well would be awesome too. But I really just want that block. I'd love to take another fanfare for even more power stacking, even more mana generation. We'll be smashing also. Now I did move around a little bit, so we should be able to start off with 16 mana from this. Mana Orb should be triggering on our Cupcake Staff along with our Mana Thirst as well. I do want to speed out our Mana Thirst as fast as possible. So maybe I do want to put this up top. And we can have our situation like this instead. Or we have the fastest Mana Thirst alive. Fanfare should be triggering pretty fast. Mana Mastery is looking pretty good. And we're going to see how this goes. But I do think with the amount of vulnerabilities we have, the amount of block we're going to be getting from this gemstone is going to be nuts. I mean, we already have 144 block, and it's going to be stacking up even more. Almost a 400 block. And it's still going on. We got tons and tons and tons of buffs that I don't think our opponent is going to stand a chance. And it's almost 1000 block, which is madness and amazing. And yeah, we do end up with a 70 DPS, so we did increase our DPS quite a bit. But it still could be stronger. As for heals, we did have 50 healing per second, being our perfect ruby, our Mana Thirst, our vampirism. Actually looking pretty good. And as for block, almost 100 block per second, 1000 block gained within 10 seconds. Being a perfect sapphire, our flawless sapphire, regular sapphire, all doing a lot of work for us. Now the thing is, this subclass is very greedy, takes up a lot of space, so it is a little bit more niche to actually use. But still a fun way to play the mage, all the same. Now with this, we have 2 lives left. Let's go to see just how much rank points we manage to get. 59. Hell yeah. But I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I'll just go for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see how we can deal with some other builds. Now we do start off with vulnerability, which is awesome, giving us time to get a big mana book bomb, stopping our opponent from bursting us down. They use up all their stamina. And we need to get our vulnerability again, and we should be in a pretty good spot to get our blocks stacked up once again. Just incredibly indefensive build, hell yeah. Now can we deal with a cheesy Scalber with the Deerwood Guardian? Shelly as well, time melting, they're going to have infinite battle rage, that is for sure. But we're going to have infinite block, that is for sure as well. Because each time our perfect sapphire triggers, we're going to get 12 block, and this one's going to get 8 block. And we have reduced our healing by quite a bit. Over 1000 block, which is kind of madness. Our opponent does have a lot of damage reduction during Battle Rage, and they still have their Battle Rage at 22 seconds, which is madness. But their Battle Rage has ended, and this is where we should be able to beat them down. And we're still at block. Now Stone would be awesome in this build as well, but Mana Mastery, Time Melting, a pretty darn savage combo, to be honest. Now can we deal one of the Reaper's main meta builds? Well, before 1.0 release anyway. Snake with Offensive Fencing Rapier with King Goobert for an insane amount of vulnerability. That's going to be a lot of scaling damage on the Offensive Fencing Rapier. But it's a battle of invulnerability because we have a ton of invulnerability as well. But we stack up our block and we stack up our damage a little bit too. So you know what? Honestly, not going to be even close. Hell yeah.